Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the country's biggest stars and some of my favourite people. And we've certainly got one for you today. Fiona Phillips is, well, a staple of TV, radio and print. She's one of our favourite presenters and journalists. And she's on today to talk about something that's very important. 'Tis the season to give, isn't it, Fiona?
'Tis the season to be jolly and also to make someone else jolly by giving. Exactly, Alex. Most of us don't even know that local charities work in our area. So it's a chance to throw them under the spotlight and learn about what they do and perhaps help them out in some way.
What's interesting this time of year, I notice my inbox is full of can you give to this and my post box is full of can you give to that. It's hard to make the right choices. For me, I'm less impressed by the international charities that seem to skim off the top. I'd rather help someone down the street who actually needs my help. I think it's good timing for this, isn't it?
I think it is, but, you know, all charities are doing good things for the causes they support, but I think the local ones are really, really important to the local community, and yet, as I said before, most people don't even know they're there. So Local Charities Day is to highlight that, and if you want to support a local charity, if you want to find out where they are and what they are, then go to your local council website. I did that this morning, and I was absolutely amazed at the number of local charities there are in my area that I didn't know a thing about. I mean, the only thing, I tell you what we all see on a daily basis now is the charity shops, but they tend to represent the big national charities. There are some local ones. So we see charity in that way. But otherwise, you know, charity also, Alex, you're talking about giving there. Giving doesn't mean just money. It means giving your time, giving your skills, and, you know, giving your heart, basically, caring about people. So the local charities, clearly cash comes in handy to help them pay for their premises, which are usually, you know, very humble affairs for the local charities. But also time is more important, really, your time to help them out. You know, if you wanted to walk into a local charity shop and offer to help sort all the stuff out that they get in, or perhaps go on the till, you know, they'll always appreciate your help.
The statistics are interesting. I mean, more than half of us want to give to local charities, but only a third of us know how to do it. There's a PR issue with that, isn't there? Which is, of course, why you're on today. There's got to be a way of us finding out and getting to know how we help these local charities.
Yeah, and as I say, go to your local council website. Go to your local library if you're not familiar with using, you know, with computers or what have you, if your library's still open, because a lot of them are being closed, but the library should help you. But also there's a couple of websites where, Charity Choice is a website you can go to, and they'll let you know who's in your local area, and also Local Giving, that's a really good site. They'll let you know where your local charity is. And by giving, as I say, it doesn't mean you have to go into the bottom of your empty wallet. It means you can give your time, your experience, your skills, your passion to a charity as well. That will be equally appreciated.
And this has been done by the People's Postcode Lottery today to try and raise the profile of these local charities. Let's talk about you a bit. How are you? What's your life like? I mean, we most famously know you sat next to Eamonn, and since then you've gone on and done 332,455 jobs. You never seem to stop, do you?
That's good, isn't it? I'm pleased because I've still got a mortgage, 2 teenagers who aren't working. Mind you, they're not old enough to work yet, really. So, yeah, I have to work, but I love it. But I love doing things that, you know, affect people or can help people. And I'm working on a series at the moment called Holding Back the Years for BBC, which is on in March. And it's about all sorts of issues that affect older people that, you know, apparently, you know, there's one story which really surprised me. Apparently, there is a shortage of bungalows. People aren't building bungalows anymore because they use up land, which most developers now want to build high-rise sort of flats on so they can make more money out of. Consequently, more people, instead of being able to stay in their own homes if they had a bungalow, have to go into care instead. So, you know, that's having a knock-on effect on the care system as well. So all these fascinating things, and it's really interesting.
I actually live in a bungalow, but it's because I don't like stairs, you see. No, well, they chafe on the inner thigh, you see, stairs. So I thought, well, if I get a bungalow, it'll save that. You know what I mean?
I don't want to think about your inner thighs and chafing.
No, you mustn't, so close to Christmas.
No, exactly.
Do you regard yourself as a presenter or a journalist or a TV lady or a radio lady? Because you do so much, don't you? And, of course, print and publishing has been such a big part of your life recently too.
Yeah, I know. I consider myself mum
Right.
and a wife and just a fellow human being, really. I don't think that just happens to be the job I do, what I do, you know. So, and I'd be more proud if I was a doctor or a nurse
Me too.
or something like that.
I had a little tinge of excitement last year when Eamonn said he was leaving Sky, and I thought it is not unfathomable that you will end up sat next to him at some point. He tells me he loved working with you, and you've always told me you love working with him. Is there any way that delightful chemistry could be rekindled on TV?
I think it could be, but I don't think it should be. I think go out on where people maybe still wanting you. Some people were glad to see the back of us, I'm sure, and then move on, really. I love Eamonn, I'll always love him, and it was unique because, you know, it's hard to just put two people together and say, oh, they've really got chemistry, but we really did. We came from similar backgrounds, you know, pretty humble backgrounds, and we worked our way up. We weren't assisted money-wise or anything. All our parents gave us was love, and, you know, we appreciated where we'd got to and where we have got to. And, yeah, we were very, very similar, apart from the fact he's a Manchester United fan.
Do you know what I loved about you two was that you held your own? It was never a case of him bullying you, and I wonder whether some of the new combinations of male-female presenters, it was done affectionately, the teasing, and there certainly was none of this stopping you halfway through a sentence. It was great, that, and so rare.
Yeah, there was sometimes. but it was never... Yeah, we just got on, you know. We did just get on, and we enjoyed it, and we loved working with each other.
There wasn't all this discussion about men and women. It was just two people on the telly who were excellent at what they did. It is an interesting time right now where there's so much more to it.
Yeah, I guess so, but so there should be. I mean, you know, women, and we're equal, and that's how it should be represented on television as well, and that's why it did need talking about. It did, because, you know, the salary thing, the disparity in salaries between men and women, which is a total disgrace. Why should women be on almost half sometimes of what their male colleagues are on? Did
you ever discuss with Eamonn what he was on or what you were on? Because, of course, when it came...
he was on more than me, though.
And does that bother you even now?
No, but I loved my job, and it wasn't the money that I went into. I should have told them at the time. I'd have done it for nothing, as long as they paid my mortgage.
I did love that when the BBC revealed all the figures earlier in the year, and of course we found out that people sat on the same couch doing the same amount of time were paid differently. It's just unacceptable. It certainly can't continue.
No, and I don't think it will now. So so talking about it works.
Very finally, about you and your Christmas, Fiona, tell me, what is your dream Christmas like? I mean, with teenagers in the house, it sounds fun.
My dream Christmas will be to go away from them.
Have a rest.
No, we're all going to a lovely little country place in Dorset where it really is Christmassy, all thatched cottages, and because it's only the four of us. My parents have gone. Martin's dad is staying where he is in Glasgow, and his mum's gone. So, yeah, it's the four of us, and it's the sort of traditional thing we do every year now. We get away from London for Christmas. Do you like to cook, or are you happy just go to a restaurant? No, we're going out, but there's four of us, and it would be me, despite all the talk about men and women, it would be me largely in the kitchen. And I don't want to spend half my day doing that, and then half my day washing up big pans and stuff. So we're only four of you, yes, so we're going out, and it'll be nice. We can sit and dress up and not have to do the washing up or clearing up or anything. Is it fun when your kids become teenagers? I wonder whether it's different, of course, because when they're babies, you've got to work through it. Of course, toddlers, they're even harder work than the kids. You've got to make an effort. Now, I suppose they're almost grown-ups and adults, and you can have a civilised conversation. Is this a lovely time for you and your family? You're not sure? How have you been in with teenagers? Okay. They grunt, generally. Oh, they're in that phase still, are they? Yeah, and, but it's a natural part. It's like in the animal kingdom. When, I went on safari of a very special holiday a couple of years ago, and the teenage male lions get kicked out of the pride when they're adolescents, and are only allowed back once they've learned to behave properly, once they've grown up, and they're not causing problems with the rest of the pride. That literally happens. That's what happens. And I think that might be a good idea. We could learn so much from our animal friends, couldn't we? From the lion population, yeah.
Fiona, thank you so much for coming on today. We must remember that this time of year there are people far less fortunate than us. We're eating in lovely restaurants and we've got families, and there are those who haven't got any of that. And of course, that's what tomorrow's about, raising the profile of local charities that help the people who live next door, because you never quite know who needs help, do you?
You really don't, even with people next door if you live in a big city. So keep your eyes out.
You can find out more. Google your local charities and help them this Christmas. And Fiona Phillips, thank you so much for your time. Lovely to talk to you.
Thank you, Alex. You too. Thank you.